3 to 5 seconds before you respond to other people, taking time before you react to other people's allegations, being able to focus your attention on where you are going and not where you have already been. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I think there's enough people in here. So what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about manifesting. And I want to give you the dictionary's definition. And it is clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Clear or obvious to the eye or mind. This is the definition of manifesting in the dictionary. Okay? The reason why this is important to understand is because when you look at the literal definition of what manifesting is, besides all the theories and all the concepts and all this different stuff, is that it's saying I see it and I believe it and I know it to be true. What's great about the mind is the mind doesn't know the difference between reality and perceived reality, reality and imagination. Your brain doesn't have eyes. So, hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you. So, because of this, again, if you're just hopping on, the literal definition from the dictionary is clear or obvious to the eye or mind. So if you really think about manifesting in terms of that definition, it's saying, I want to see it and I see it and I know it to be true. So for me, my intention is to manifest peace. It is to manifest prosperity. It is to manifest joy. It is to manifest greatness. And what I've realized on this journey that I've been on is that happiness is a choice and happiness is available. So you can focus on finding happiness. You can focus on creating happiness. You can focus on creating joy, on seeing your world this way, no matter what your circumstances are. Hey, what's up, Queen Rican? Yeah, we're good. Thank you for asking. We are learning. We are educating ourselves. We're not going to be stuck. We're not going to sit here and look at the current world and say, this is my life and this is all that there is. It is challenging sometimes to live in the world that we live in. It is powerful to reinterpret. And that's what we do. That's what we do. Thank you. So, no matter where you are, no matter how you feel right now, you can change your perspective. We can change our perspective. So, for example, Kelsey, you say that you're homeless. Do you know that there are resources that are available? Especially if you have kids, there are resources that are available. Slowing down instead of being on the live stream, as much as I love you here, please take notes if you want to hang out. I'm saying you could also go online. You could look up on TikTok where they've already done the research for you. And you can find different ways for you to make money, to get a job, to move into another place. There's a lot of resources. There's help available for you. We have options. We can get a piece of paper. We can use I was talking with somebody the other day who's in a similar situation to you. And for me, what I would say for you, Kelsey, is that this is actually going to be one of the most exciting moments in your life, all frustration and fear aside, because you can actually start to follow your intuition more because you're realizing that other people around you are not helping you or guiding you in the way that you want to. Right, there's women's shelters, you can post, a lot of people don't realize, because Craigslist is sketchy sometimes, you can actually post in the section where you're looking for housing. And there's people who are more private, who have guest houses, who've been in your circumstance. This is where vulnerability is powerful. There's also Facebook groups for people that are in your circumstance. There's also free education resources. The thing about it, though, is when we grow up in poverty, when we grow up in abuse, when we grow up feeling like we're not good enough, or even for those of you that didn't grow up in poverty, when you grow up feeling that you're not good enough, or if you see your parents having an unhealthy relationship with money or being more focused on money, you can create beliefs around money to say that it's bad or it's evil or I associate it with this and with this, and so I don't like it. And so subconsciously, we can start to create negative beliefs that lead to negative momentum, which is what I was talking about yesterday. And again, that when you look at the literal definition of manifestation, it is more so saying, I believe it, I see it, there it is. There are so many movies, there are so many stories about people just like you who've been in difficult circumstances who pulled themselves up. You get overwhelming, what's up, Words and Gold? You get overwhelming anxiety whenever I get ready to talk to my guy. Well, thank you for sharing. What I would say is, this is where, like, I use emotional intelligence to be very logical in my situations, because my emotions can be deceiving. And what I mean by that is it's really being able to slow down and to talk things out internally, to say, okay, I'm attracted to this person. I'm under the impression that they're attracted to me because they're taking time. They're taking time to actually talk to me, to listen to me. So they see me. They even see, what I would say is, people even see parts of you that you don't even see. It was challenging for me when I was unlearning all of my insecurities on my physical appearance. And the way that I got to this space was by realizing, that we don't want to have these thoughts around the people that we're hanging out with, right? We don't want to walk around with these intrusive negative thoughts. And so therefore, when you tell yourself, when people come up to me, when people talk to me, when people say, thank you, come again when we go to the store, when people hand us change, when people walk down the street and they look in our direction, they are acknowledging our existence. They're acknowledging our energy. They're acknowledging that we are here, instead of that runaround of people don't see me and people don't hear me and I'm not wanted. It's also understanding that you can create different beliefs. And this is where stuff like hypnosis can be very powerful. Again, do your own research, not a doctor, not medical advice. But I am saying I have gotten great results. This is my experience that I'm sharing with you to provoke thought, to say that a lot of hypnotists will say that the reason why, for some people, why hypnosis works is because a subconscious mind is more open to suggestion. So it's for you to sit down and think, okay, I don't like the fact that I get around this person and I feel anxiety and I feel nervous. I don't want to feel that way. What belief can I carry? And this is where, again, the only way that I can say it is like going to the gym or exercising. Even if you don't like to exercise, you can exercise your beliefs and you can strengthen your beliefs. So again, when you look at the literal definition of manifesting, it's more so of the brain sees it, the eye sees it, we know it to be true. And the way that we got to this space is by listening to other people who have beliefs that are theories. Take notes, please. I'm dropping gems over here. Okay? So once you start to understand this, you can start to say, I want to have a different perspective. For me, when the social anxiety comes up, when the anxiety comes up, I go back to, and this is before I was live streaming. This is before all of this. This is when I had like 28 followers, when I really didn't understand how TikTok worked, when I was healing from the last relationship that I was in, where I was saying, what if I created the belief that every single person walking by me was blown away by my presence? Hey, what's up, Lisa? What's up, everybody? Thank you for the love. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the double taps. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking notes. And I thought about that belief. I was like, yeah, what if that was a thing? And my brain was open to that suggestion. It felt like it could be in a reality. It could be a possibility. So from there, I really thought about that. I thought, how would that work in my life? And as people were walking down the street, I was convincing myself, because I understand we've been programmed and we can reprogram. We've learned and we can unlearn, and we can learn new beliefs. This is how people learn new languages. This is how people grow and elevate and evolve. So I really thought about that. I was like, okay, let me look at other people as I'm walking down the street. and like a child, use my imagination to pretend to make believe that every single person walking down the street is looking at me like they're blown away by my presence, like I'm in a movie, like they're watching my come up, like they're watching my success, like they're watching me on this honorable path, instead of being like, oh my God, people are looking at me. They're going to judge me. They're going to see my big alien head. They're going to see how pale my skin is. They're going to see that I'm off. They're going to see my crooked teeth. They're going to see that my hair isn't how I want it to be. They're going to judge me. They're going to see my side angles. They're going to see that part of me that I don't like for people to see. And I go, no. All of these people see you and love the fact that you're here. They've already bought tickets to your show. They're just waiting for you to naturally do what you do. All you have to be is just yourself. You just show up and be yourself. And that means that you don't have to overthink. It means when you have a thought, you think it. When it's a good thought, you express it because you want to connect with other people. And if people don't like you, they're not your people. And the people who do like your thoughts are your people. And you can find the balance and use your critical thinking and your discernment within those moments. So it's being able to have the momentum. Thank you for all the love. Thank you. Right? So this is where you can start to change your perspective. Please don't downplay and minimize what I'm saying. Please understand that what I'm saying is a patient process of being consistent with your brain. Every single time that you say, people are judging me, I want to talk to this person, I want to go up to this guy or this woman, I want to have that job interview, I want to talk to them, but I'm underqualified, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I'm ugly, I'm unattractive, they're going to have an opinion about me. And then from there you go, but I don't want to have these thoughts anymore because I've been thinking this way for years. So what I'm going to do instead is go past that traumatized voice, that unprocessed emotions voice, and I'm going to say, go for it. What's the worst thing they're going to do? Stop talking to me? I'm still going to be alive. Look at how much pressure we put on ourselves. How did I heal from the childhood SA? A lot of crying, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, a lot of grieving. Yo, you should have heard me yesterday. My girlfriend and I who were in here, we did a ceremony yesterday somehow where I was crying and it didn't even sound like me crying. I cried so hard and so heavy that I'm like, where is this coming from? And I couldn't even breathe at some points. I just kept on crying and crying. And I'm like, oh my God, when I release all of this, I'm going to be even more powerful. For me, what I would say is, it's really about, we must all amplify the fact that we're annoyed by certain things and stop putting it on our back burner. You know what I mean? Like, we must absolutely let other people have their opinions. We must stop this runaround dialogue of, I don't have enough. There it is again. Fail, 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 fail. To say, I want to create. And again, go look up, if you don't believe me, go look up the literal definition. If you have an iPhone, look up the definition where it says that it's more so about seeing it and believing it. So in the same way that you believe when somebody is looking at you and they're judging you, or you believe that when somebody shows up into your life and they talk to you in a certain tone of voice, you believe that that means something, you can change your beliefs. Most people won't do it though because they don't want to be consistent, because they just want that instant gratification. So my question for you is, how determined are you? And are you going to tell other people about it, or are you going to go on this journey and move forward? Let people go. Let people grow. Focus on your intention and find it and discover it. Talk to people. Understand that when you want to get into that relationship, when you want to be friends with that person, it doesn't matter if they say no, you're still going to be alive. This is where yesterday I was talking about momentum, that we've been going on a downhill negative momentum slope for a long time, thinking nobody likes me, nobody loves me, I'm a victim, my life is hard. And then when we get around somebody who has their life together or who inspires us and motivates us, we can self-sabotage without even realizing it. This is where, for me, why I'm so much into mapping. I just posted a video about this and I have a worksheet in my bio link if you're interested in learning about mapping. It's literally asking different questions to get different answers, to get different results. We just keep on running around with the exact same thoughts over and over and over again. And when we slow down and say, I don't like this way of thinking, what are my other options? We realize that we do have other options. Hey, what's up, Lala? Thank you. I wouldn't say that it's fake it till you make it. And I would say it's more so, if you want to do a rhyming one, I like to say live it till you pivot. Like, be in that space to say that when I'm for example, if you want to be in a relationship, because this is what started this conversation, Words and Gold said this, like, I get this anxiety when I want to go talk up to this guy. Then it's like, yeah, well, it's more so of what would I look like? How would I think? How would I speak if I had way more than enough money in my bank account where I was financially free? I knew that my hair was attractive. I knew that my skin was attractive. I knew that my facial features were attractive. I knew that I was good enough and I was worthy and I deserve love, and that nobody knows my story until I project it, until I communicate it consciously and subconsciously. And I can go up to this person and say, hey, I just checking you out. I just wanted to connect with you. There's something about you. I don't know. You want to have like a cup of coffee or something? I don't normally do this. This feels really weird and really awkward for me, but I like something about you. And understand, there's two things that are going to happen. One is they're either going to laugh and they're going to smile and they're going to relate to you and they're going to connect with you and they're going to know what to do with that awkward conversation, or they're just going to go right back to, you have to be perfect, and they're a red flag anyway. So let go of them and thank God and move forward. Look at how much pressure we put on the decision making. How do we stand a chance? Do you get that? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Hey, what's up, Tommy? Nice to see you again, man. The more truthful that we are to ourselves, this is called living in your truth. It's being able to say, I can't live in this what if scenario. I can't live in this really, like, I have to do something, I have to squirm or put myself down every time that life doesn't make sense. You can be having that conversation, Words and Gold. You can be having that conversation with that person. You can be talking with their higher self while you're talking to them. To say, hey, like, subconsciously, to talk with them, to say, while they're talking and listening, hey, thank you, Brandy, for subscribing. Make sure, if you want to get that phone call with me to talk one-on-one, tap that link in my bio, and you're going to see VTP family subscription 15-minute call. You're stressed about getting hurt. So who was the first person who hurt you in that way? When was the first time that you got rejected? Because when we actually start to think about why, like, what you're doing is so smart and so intelligent, what you're actually doing is you're saying, oh, I'm noticing that my mind goes to this place. I feel like I'm going to get hurt. How interesting that I'm going up to this person wanting to connect with them, and then I go back to, they're going to hurt me. But here's the thing, you can't prove it. What if they hurt me? But what if they love you? What if they acknowledge you? What if they see you? What if that's that relationship you deserve? You were in kindergarten and I was being quirky and everyone was annoyed. Right. So this is where you can go back to her. You can go back to her at that childhood age, in your meditation, in your private time. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. You can do this while you're walking. You can do this on a subway. You can do this in your car. You can do this while you're at home, while you're taking care of kids, whatever your circumstances are. You don't have to close your eyes and wear white cloth and listen to 432 hertz and go, No. What we can start to do is start to understand that we're creating conversations in our head. And this will answer your question too. Daily things you can do to improve emotional intelligence. It's being able to identify, I want to do something and then I'm not doing it. Why is that? That's really interesting. See yourself being in that relationship if that's your intention. Even if it's blurry, even if you don't see it all the way through. Practice feeling excited about that. Practice knowing that you deserve that. Practice living in that space and notice how comfortable or uncomfortable it is. Again, my conversation with people recently who've been booking time with me is that when it comes to that little voice in your head, if that little voice in your head, which apparently not everybody has, is telling you something that, one, you can't prove, but you can talk back to it, you can connect with it, you could tell it a different story, you can ask it different questions, you can tell it different things to get different results. But it's a process. How can I motivate my partner to stop being so negative? By asking yourself, what's the thing about their negativity that's triggering me? Why is this frustrating me? Why is it frustrating me that they're being negative? Why am I not setting boundaries or getting to know their trauma or communicating with them in a different way to set different intentions to get different outcomes? We're annoyed by other people because we like to control the outcome, because if this person isn't matching our mood, then that means that we're going to fail. Or maybe they remind us of mom or dad. A lot of us right now are working on our mother wounds and our father wounds. Maybe there's a logical reason why this person is feeling frustrated and negative. But we don't have time for that because we just want to feel good and avoid looking bad. Thank you. Yes, Lisa Marie, you know the vibes. Yes, one of my favorite movies. And there's no sorries. There's no sorries. We're not sorry for communicating and expressing. There's a different way to do this. Positive momentum. I was talking about this yesterday. It's the same thing. I mean, for real, like look up the definition. Look up the definition. I know it to be true, and I'm going to create it and I'm going to focus on it. So I can manifest happiness while everybody else is feeling really awkward or really insecure. I can manifest happiness while last night, while I was crying my eyes out, while I was feeling some trauma that was being released from God knows where, from whenever it was coming from, that I can feel joy when I'm like, man, all that I can think about is this sadness. All that I can think about are these tears. Maybe it's PTSD. Maybe it's something else. Who knows? The point is to say is that I can just let it be released and be at peace with all of this and think, man, this is going to benefit me in some way. So let me make sure that I sit with all of these emotions. And I'm so grateful that this is coming up to surface. That's why you see me getting healthier. That's why you see my energy looking better. That's why you hear my conversations changing if you've been rocking with me since day one. It's about understanding that we're the creators and we minimize this and we constantly need validation. So it's saying, I want to be excited, so I'm going to take this leap and I'm not going to care if they reject me. If they reject me, I'm going to say, okay, cool. They're not my people. That's fine. I'm going to go for this job interview. And if they're not going to hire me today, then I'm going to send an email tomorrow. And if they're not going to hire me tomorrow, I'm going to follow up in 1 day or 2 days. And I'm going to have a different approach. And I'm going to say, I understand that you have a vision and idea of who you want to hire. I'm your person. I can work the days that end in Y or whatever days that you want to work. I'm going to outwork everybody around you. I work like I own the business. I'm ready to go. Or if you're looking to be in a relationship, you can just go up to somebody and just be messy and just say, hey, I don't normally do this. This is weird. I'm getting better at talking with people and being more extroverted. And I liked your outfit. I liked your style. I just wanted to talk with you. I don't even know where to go from here because it's so weird connecting with people, right? And then you sit in that awkward energy and you see what they're going to do, because real people are going to recognize the realness within you. And watch out if your brain is telling you that's too hard. People are going to judge you. Why is that a bad thing? For real, why is it a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing that you're not, hey, thank you, Brandy, for real, thank you. Why is it a bad thing that you're going to get rejected? Go back, Words in Gold, go back to that moment where your class, where the people in your class were annoyed or whatever, and tell that younger version of you, hey, do you know that you can't prove that people are really truly annoyed by you? They might be annoyed that they want to go to school, they want to go to recess, they want to play, they want to do something. Maybe it has nothing to do with you. Do you know that in the future, because I know you to a certain degree, do you know in the future, because I'm you from the future, do you know that we've actually fallen in love before and we've created life, that we've traveled to different places, that we've met different kinds of people, we've made a difference in people's life? Do you know what we're up to right now? We are so loved and we're going on this amazing journey. Just like our ancestors explored and were nomadic, we're going on a healing journey to go into the unknown of our emotions, and we're cracking our code and we're loving ourselves more. We're going into this unknown place. We're really excited about it, and we're going to feel all of these feelings, and we're not going to feel bad about them anymore. And we deserve love. We can't prove that these people around us are mad at us. They might have trauma. They might have had a bad day. They might have just had low blood sugar at that moment. Right, you knew it. And that's the thing. This is where more context, because I know that you've been rocking with me for a while. This is where you've heard me talk more about connecting to your anger, because your anger is going to be like, hey, this is off. This doesn't feel right. And it's like, yes, correct. Huh, how about that? What are we going to do with this information now? That's where I started speaking up and communicating. And that's where a lot of people in my life are like, oh, you have opinions? I don't like you anymore. What are we going to do about capitalism? We're going to keep on educating ourselves. We're going to keep on educating ourselves. We're going to keep on finding solutions. We're going to keep on understanding that instead of pointing our fingers saying somebody else is going to take care about this, we're going to be a family. We're going to have a conversation. I can almost guarantee you that if you talk to somebody who is in politics, they would say, nobody helped me, so why should I give a rat's you know what about where you're going and who you are? Oh no, you're struggling. I was struggling. You weren't there for me. My parents weren't there for me. People weren't there for me. Why should I be there for you? I need all the money. I need all the power. I need to be a millionaire so nobody can ever hurt me again. But we don't think about that. We just don't like how we feel. People are not ready for that conversation. They're getting there. Thank you, Queen Rican. Safe travels. What action can we take? We can start to realize what we give attention to is what shows up more in our algorithm. That's another part of manifesting, okay? Manifesting, again, is just, again, for those of you that think that it's corny and it's cheesy and it's cliched, go look up, pull on your iPhone, what is the definition of manifesting? And don't look at the one about like ships and weight and cargo. Look at the other one, where it says it's about seeing and believing. It's just, I see it and I believe it and I know it to be true. There it is. What we can start to understand is the more that we give attention to negativity, the more that it shows up. The more that we keep on having these conversations of nothing's working in my favor, the more we get. So this is where momentum is required, and positive momentum when you've been in a negative space for a while feels challenging. Like getting a car out of the snow or out of the mud. To the people who hold the money aren't letting it go, we're going to keep on educating ourselves and we're going to keep on holding companies accountable. I mean, the more that you double tap me, the more love you show to me, the more money that I receive, the more gifts that I get, the more follows, the more double taps, the more that the algorithm shows me. I'm going to go into the mainstream and I'm going to hold people accountable. I'm going to have conversations. I'm all about it. Give me 1 million followers. Give me the spotlight. I don't even need to have $1 billion of dollars. Give me the spotlight. Give me a couple minutes and I can have conversations with society to say that we're all on the same page, that we're all in the same boat. And then we can start to say things like, hey, for 1 week, we're not going to support Nestle. By the way, if any of you support Nestle, I don't care how cheap their water is. I don't care how cheap their baby products are. They're terrible. They're a terrible, 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 unethical company. We could start right there. And we can hold companies accountable. We can find out who are funding the people. This is where when you double tap on videos and when you go to the bottom right-hand corner and click not interested in videos, that's actually a change that you're making because other people are seeing what you are watching based off of the algorithm that you are creating. Yes, there are fake TikToks with my name. I will never reach out to you saying that I'm going to give you a reading or a healing. What I talk about is emotional intelligence. I work with energy. Sometimes I do that. My main focus, though, is giving you pragmatic, realistic ways for you to change your perspective and to move forward. And I definitely don't say, hi, beloved. When people show me the DMs. Okay? What makes me say this? Because I'm going off of the comments. I'm just going off of the feedback. Right? So emotional intelligence is a way to understand that there's a different way to do things. For example, a lot of people feel like they have to do things violently. They have to be aggressive with stuff. There's a way you can change the world in your pajamas. There's a way that you can move forward and not even have to step outside of your house because of the technology that's available. Oh, why did I say that about Nestle? Because people are saying, what are real ways that we can stop capitalism? And I'm like, stop supporting companies that think that drinking water isn't a human right. It's challenging. People are going to have, if you really want to make a real change, a real long-lasting change, this is what human beings are not used to. If you really want to see the world change, guess who's going to be the one to change it? Collective conscious. Us. Not me, not you, we, who are people in this world that we are living on. We start to make changes by telling people who have these divisive conversations, instead of focusing on racism, which is what they're constantly doing while they're messing with our money, we tell our friends, hey, we're not having this abusive relationship conversation anymore. That person, it's different when it comes to law. It's different when it comes to law enforcement, and I can acknowledge that. But when you have a neighbor who's nosy, when you have somebody who's miserable, who's just being rude, when you have somebody who's being bigoted, who's being homophobic, you take the understanding of they don't know their roots, they don't know their heritage, they're miserable, they're traumatized, they're having a bad day. Your light is so bright that all that poison is coming out of their body, and that makes you a leader in that moment. And we don't acknowledge their conversation because they're hurting. And yes, sometimes we need to ask for help and have protection, and conversations are difficult sometimes and complicated. I acknowledge that, but we can make changes by having different understandings and going to the very root to say, how can I make a change at the root? These people are not going to understand me. What can I do? Find the people who do understand me and tell them that when the people who feel unwanted, unloved, unappreciated, abandoned, a burden, when those of us speak up, oh, we'll absolutely change the world. That's another way that we can stop capitalism, by saying that we don't care about the filters. We don't care about the brand names. We don't care about looking attractive. We know that we're attractive now. This is why self-love is vital. You actually loving yourself will make a difference in this world. It's not cheesy. Don't minimize it. The more that you pick yourself up and start to tell your story in an honorable way, instead of walking around putting down your physical appearance. And look, I had 400 people on this live stream. When I start talking about real stuff, 300 people want to go away. They're not for me. That's fine. It's not personal. It's not emotional. Some people have cognitive dissonance and don't want to go on this healing journey. And some of those people who are scrolling away, it's too much for them, because if they actually let go of this pain and this suffering and this trauma, they wouldn't know how to identify. Not everybody's meant to go where you're going. Right now, we're not used to nurturing ourselves and loving ourselves as much. I love the analogy by Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry says when a rocket goes up into outer space, there's rocket boosters that boost the rocket up. And then after a certain height, those boosters go away. And those are your family, and those are your friends, and those are the relationships that have ended or that you've pressed pause on. You're going into a new chapter in your life. You're going into a new segment. You're in a new paragraph. Most people, from my perspective, the real reason why you're frustrated is because you are actually realizing more effort is required. More effort is required. Oh my goodness. I have to level up even more. I'm bossing up even more. I'm taking more responsibility. And a powerful way to flip this coin and to flip our perspective is to understand when we are speaking our truth, when we are living in our truth, when we're not concerned about how people are going to interpret it. And some people start to say, oh, you've changed. Whew, release all that. Ew, there's something wrong with you. Oh, why are you doing that? Why are you quitting this job? Why are you leaving this circumstance? Some of you have family members that are like, why are you getting the divorce? You're going to ruin the whole entire thing. You're going to ruin this family. You're going to mess up everything. Your kids are going to be ruined. Any of you heard anything like that? Telling you to stay in a place and you're just like, oh, you want for me to stay the same? You want for me to stay stuck? How do I parent my son without his dad? I don't know how to deal with him being mean. Donna, I would tell you from me to you, because I was really angry when I was like 16 years old, right around that time. Part of it is just like holding space and saying, you know what, you're angry inside, and I understand that you don't like your circumstances. I raised you to know the difference between right and wrong. I know that you think that I don't understand you. However, if you want somebody to just listen to you, I am here, and I'm going to trust that you are going to learn the lessons that you are meant to learn. And I understand that you're angry. Go ahead and let that anger out. Start observing. Donna, go more into observation mode. When you get around your child, just listen to them. Listen to their anger. It's never personal. It's never personal. I was a rage machine when I was 16 years old. I hated my circumstances. I was bullied so hard when I was in high school. I literally had phone calls. My mom used to read to me, read to your children, read to your children. Yo, my mom used to read to me. And I remember one time specifically, I got a phone call. There was 5 other people that were on the phone line from my high school that were laughing in the background. And one was saying, is it true that your mom's a lesbian? Is it true that you're on welfare? I had people like, there would be a girl that would be interested in me in high school and 1 or 2 days later would want nothing to do with me because I was infamous in this school. Because I didn't grow up in Caucasia land. I grew up in Berkeley, California, where it's so diverse city. You see Ted walking around with no clothes on. You're like, hey, Ted, it must be Tuesday. Looks a little cold today, buddy. And then I move into this land where my mom wants for me to live in the safe neighborhood. And all of a sudden there's people that look like me that don't know their roots and their heritage. There are people in this world that we align with, and there are people in this world that are holding up a mirror to teach us a lesson to see how insecure or secure we are. You can disagree with me, but I love that philosophy. And that's what shamans talk about. That's what practitioners talk about. That's what people who are in this spiritual conversation more so. And if you're not a spiritual person, that's fine. You're still part of this family. I can critically think. Thank goodness that I was bullied and teased. Thank goodness that I had those moments where I doubted myself. Every single person in here who has had a difficult lifetime is a leader. And we can just define what a leader means. A leader does not mean that you wear a suit and a tie and you have tailored clothing and you have a yacht and you have a beautiful home and a gated community and you travel once a week or once a month or every single summertime. That doesn't mean that that person is a leader. That doesn't mean that you should live the life that they are living. It's them saying, this is my life. And if you're inspired by it, take notes. And if you don't like it, that's cool. I'm going to keep on moving forward. A leader could be you saying, I'm tired of looking at my teeth, my face, my skin, my hair, my weight, and saying something's wrong with me and I don't want to feel this way anymore. I'm noticing I'm insecure when I get around somebody I'm attracted to. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I have a job where I'm a big fish in a little pond and people are putting me down. I don't want to feel this way anymore. What's another perspective I can have? And when I actually learn that lesson and when I download that and integrate that into my life, I can teach other people how to do it. That's my framework. I love this life. I love this formula. So now I'm not running around thinking, I wish I had over this amount of money in my bank account. I wish I wasn't stressed out over money. I wish for Valentine's Day I could do more for my loving relationship. I wish that I could help out my mom more. I'm not good enough. Even though I came from poverty and I picked myself up, even though inflation is here and I'm frustrated and I'm doing my best and I'm moving forward and I'm finding the balance and educating myself and finding new ways. I wish that I was more. I wish that I was more. No, I'm right exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm not ashamed. I do my best to be transparent with you. I think that's a pretty good definition of a leader. I think that a leader can say, hey, you know what? Stop putting down your bank account. Stop putting down your physical appearance and your mentality. Stop putting yourself down. I had a client today that was talking about, I have bipolar disorder. And I'm like, it's not a disorder. If you need to take medication, take your medication. That's cool. Remove the part of you that says, I'm out of order. You might need to do more. You might need to meditate more. You might need to find your own version of meditation because you can't meditate. You might need to do something completely and totally different. You might be that person who falls down 1,000 times while nobody else does. It's your journey. It's your journey. It's your journey. Can I explain the ceremony we did yesterday? It's more so of a meditation. It's more so channeling. I connect with energy. My girlfriend is a shaman. She's a Reiki master. She's a medium. She sees certain things. I was just feeling like I was off and we were talking about it and she was able to move the energy and I was open to releasing it. And then from there, as that was all happening, I sat with this really uncomfortable feeling, and I felt these tears coming up, and I didn't even know where it was coming from because I was just having a really good day, but I just was open to it, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I just released it and released it and released it. And she was telling me this is all the stuff. So I'm like, word, I'm ready to let all of it go. Thank you. This is the greatest time to be alive. This is the greatest time to be a hot mess. People are numb. People are so. Do you know that if you realize every single person has a certain level of anxiety or insecurity or uncertainty, do you know how powerful that is to understand that you're on equal playing field in the world right now? That's why I loved when the lockdown happened. I'm like, now nobody knows what they're doing. Now no one knows what they're doing. Now everybody has to scramble. Now the essential worker, the person who's riding the bicycle in New York City, from Mexico, from Guatemala, from Nigeria, is looked at like Superman right now and Wonder Woman right now, when that person was put down by society. What a funny world where everybody's making up the rules as we go along. We're actually mentally on even playing field right now. So for those of you that are working on yourself and committed to yourself and dedicated to yourself, you're going to come out ahead. Keep on going. Stop looking at your bank account as determining where you're going. Take baby steps. Stop this runaround of I'm stuck or I'm stupid or I'm not good enough, and start to speak to yourself how you wish that you were spoken to, and be relentless and keep on going and don't give up. And tomorrow do the same thing. And day one it feels cheesy, and day two it feels cheesy. And week one it starts to feel real. In week two, you start to notice it. In week three, you start to notice who's not matching your energy. And all of a sudden, you realize, oh my God, I got to love myself even more and pick myself up even more and do more to find my blueprint and who I am. This is manifesting. This is saying, I want to honor myself and what I see, I believe. And my brain does not know the difference between reality and perceived reality. And like Melina's saying, you act like the person you want to become. You can walk around in your life and say, when I am successful, I will understand that I'm going to have a calmness. Do you get that? That when you are successful, you're going to be more confident. You're going to be more calm. You're going to be more centered. So you can just start to do that in your life. And you can listen to somebody screaming at you and yelling at you and putting you down and say, wow, this used to mean a lot to me. I like simple books. I would say The Four Agreements is a really good one that we can read over and over again. There's also The Fifth Agreement. There's You Are a Bad ASS. I like to keep this family oriented, by Jen Sincero. Anybody else want to drop some books, some recommendations? What's that one book that I read that talks about talking to people beyond when we pass over? Let me see. Let me look it up real quick. Look, take notes, screenshot it. Let me see. I think it's called The Legend of, is it Billy Fingers? The Afterlife of Billy Fingers is a really interesting book for those of you that want to know about like past life stuff, reincarnation, spirituality, life paths and stuff like that. There's a lot of different people that have talked about this, but it's Billy Fingers, Billy Fingers, the afterlife of Billy Fingers. It was written by a woman who really wasn't spiritual at all. What's that one? What's that one that was written in the early 1900s? Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich. What is that? That's you have to read that over and over and over and over again. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is a good one. The Alchemist is a good one. The Celestine Prophecy is a good one. There you go. Emotional intelligence, which I teach, which I discuss when you book time with me, is really saying amplify the frustrations, visualize yourself having a different conversation, have a conversation with that childhood version of you to say, hey, we're going to speak up to our mom or speak up to our dad in our meditation right now, and they can't harm us. I want for you to turn up your emotions and show all your sadness and all your anger. Dr. Joe Dispenza is definitely a gem. Some people disagree with his philosophies. I love him. Right? Emotional intelligence is being able to take 3 to 5 seconds before you respond. Emotional intelligence is understanding the power of your momentum. Whatever you're giving attention to, if it feels good, acknowledge that. If it doesn't feel good, it might be a lesson. It might be a lesson. No apologies. No apologies. No need to apologize. You had somebody reach out and tried to scam you. You thought it was me. You think that I'm a scam artist. So we had that conversation. Call me out. Don't apologize to me. Don't be sorry. We're sorry when we overreact. I don't think that's an overreaction. I'd be frustrated if I trusted somebody and they messaged me and blah, blah, blah. You have every right to feel how you feel. What's the fastest way to clear trauma? By number one, it's not about rushing to clear the trauma. That's the biggest part that we get hustled in spirituality, where we just want to automatically feel good. And that's where people get warped when it comes to the concept of manifestation. Manifesting is just saying, like, I see it and I see that it's possible and I believe it. I believe that it's possible. And I know that there's a formula for me to create some kind of feeling in this way. I manifest happiness. I manifest joy. I manifest joy when I feel sad, when I feel angry, because I am grateful to release the frustrations and I'm not going to feel ashamed of who I am. What I would say when it comes to clearing trauma, one thing that's helped me personally has been really, really sad and really confused. I got you. Well, if they did get money from you, please contact your bank or please contact PayPal. I go back to those moments. Other people don't like to go back. That's what I've realized. Most people run from their traumas. They run from the uncomfortable feelings. And then they keep on recreating these relationships. And I'm like, yo, you are doing yourself a disservice. Thank you. Thank you, Melina. Why are we ashamed that we were taken advantage of? Why are we ashamed that our parents got divorced? Why are we ashamed that our life is going really well and other people have opinions about it and they're judging us? Why are we ashamed that we don't meet the standards of beauty? Why are we ashamed that there's a theory about that we're not doing well, that we're not happy all the time, and we're ashamed that we're not doing well in accordance of somebody else who probably behind the scenes has their own difficulties and their own trauma? The people who are writing the beauty articles, for example, telling you how to be beautiful, when they go home, when their camera's off, when they're away from other people, when they're not in people pleasing mode, they have their own insecurities just like you. You think that people with millions of dollars don't have issues? Sometimes people have worked their whole entire life to make money to prove their mom and dad wrong because their mom and dads were addicts or problem or abusive or whatever. And they said, I'm going to escape from this. I'm never going to feel this way again, and worked really, really hard. And they're wondering, why do I still not feel happy after I've made hundreds of thousands and if not millions of dollars? Thank you. My name's Nikki Scorpio. Oh, hey. Let me pin this comment. Thank you, Ash. Nice to see you again. Right? Why? Why do I not like this? Why am I frustrated? Because people have opinions. Why does that matter? Because I don't like that people have opinions. But why don't I like that people have opinions? Because their opinions hurt my feeling. But why do I care that people have opinions? And you're just going to see that there's a runaround. It doesn't make any sense. There's no logical, because I'm going to end up alone. Why do I care about ending up alone? Because if I'm alone, nobody's going to love me. But why do I care that nobody's going to love me? So what? That I'm going to be alone, that I'm going to pass away. I'm not capable. What you do when you have negative, intrusive thoughts and you let them roam wild is you say, I need validation from society. Please tell me that I'm doing the right thing. I can't control my life and I'm lazy. I don't have any options. I cannot get another job. I cannot get money any other way. I'm never going to fall in love again. It's over for me. I'm doomed. I'm just going to give up and live the rest of my life with a big pouty face and be miserable for the rest of my life and just complain about how every single thing is in life because this one person didn't love me, because this one person was actually a mirror for you, teaching you a lesson, and we didn't learn the lesson that time. Well, thank goodness the universe brings people around to give you another lesson for you to learn. One person didn't show you love who's blood related to you. One person who was blood related to you told you that you were stupid. One person that you cared about left you, and you came up with a whole story about your life. And this is how you are manifesting negativity. Look up the definition of manifesting. It's not some magical thing. It's saying, like, you believe it, you see it, there it is. There it is. There it is. And most of the stuff that we see is an incorrect interpretation based off of trauma anyway. So how can you focus on being optimistic when you feel down? Determination. Be determined about yourself. Be determined about your education for yourself. Be relentless. That one. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for that. Thank you for all the love. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I love that you guys show me love. Thank you, man. This took me so long to learn this information, and I'm relentless. make sure you get it. If you've never seen love, and this is why your relationships fail, this is why your friendships don't work, this is why your career isn't where you want it to be. If that is the case, it's because you want to be successful, but you have no mentors, no information, no perspective other than what you were given. I was at a store yesterday and every single person in that store was in a bad mood. And I'm like, these people, I know that they want to make more money. I'm sure that they're overworked. I'm sure that it's stressful. However, complaining is not going to get you anywhere. And you don't even know who's around you who has opportunities. You don't even know who has opportunities around you, because they're probably not telling you their opportunity because you're pessimistic about your life. It's challenging to be excited. I'll give you that. However, when you get to that space where you're determined to find your excitement, you can get it. This wasn't easy for me. I was relentless. I just got tired enough. If you are still going to stay in that abuse, if you're still going to stay stuck, you're not tired enough. Amplify your annoyance. Amplify the fact that you're frustrated. Stop hiding it from yourself and stop lying to yourself and stop walking around with the smiley face when you get on calls, when you get on Zoom calls, when you get around other people, when you're not feeling happy. Stop lying to yourself. Love your trauma. Love your tears. Love your insecurity. That's why you see every single time when I go on these lives, I always get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000 plus people. And then I start saying, hey, human beings are going through things. And some people are like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I can't hear that. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Nope, not going to deal with that. No, thank you. I do not want to look at that part of my life. No, thank you. That's what most people do. But you're not like most people. And that's why they look at you and they think, how are you still going? You shouldn't be around. You should have quit like me. How on earth are you still going? If I went through what you went through, I wouldn't even be around. How are you still doing this? And then your family sees you winning and sees you leveling up and intuitively picks up on that energy shift. And they're like, you started where I started. Why do you get that? Or you look at the last relationship that you were in and they look like they're happy. You're like, why did they get that? Why do they deserve that? You have no idea where life is taking you. And you sound like a whiny dog who wants to go outside. The closed mouths don't get fed. And we go, rah, 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 rah. Then people listen to us. Closed mouths don't get fed. Tell people you're not okay. It's wild when you look at videos, when I post videos, and I haven't done this in a while, but if you look at one of the pinned videos I have and it's telling people to tell their story, how many people say, I can't tell anybody my story? Because if I told people my story, they would cry. Like, so what? So? Where's the negative issue? Where's the problem? Just because one person told you crying was weak? Oh, please. They probably have hospital bills. That's not your responsibility. Be better. Do better. You deserve better. Let people be a lesson to you. I've had so many people in my life who weren't happy that were giving me advice. I had so many negative people in my life, some of whom were family, that were walking around saying that you look crazy when you tell people positive, great news for you. That when you get your act together, when you get your sharing, because I belong too. They're like, we already, you're here. Obviously you belong. If you didn't belong, like, it'd be a different conversation. You're already here. Emily, part of it is just knowing that we're good enough. And that's a simple conversation that a lot of people don't even think about, that they don't even believe it. Most people truly do not feel they are good enough. That's why they don't apply for the job, because I don't have 8 years of experience. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. Takes one to know one. Thank you. Oh, you think you want somebody with 8 years of experience? You don't, though. That was just a random number that you came up with. I'm the person for the job. I see flaws in your company. I see ways this can be more profitable. I'm good at this. Bring any competition who has more years of experience than me. I will smoke them. I got this. Hire me. I'm ready to go. I'll work on the days that end in Y. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's do it. I've done research about your company. I went on to TikTok and I looked up interview questions to ask different questions. I'm not wishing upon stars. Stars wish upon me. I don't need to adjust my hair or adjust my physical appearance when I get into a room. Whew. Release all that. This is a very, very underrated comment that most people are not going to get the depths of this. Right here. If I can see myself doing it, I can do it. Practice, practice, practice that. It's not one and done. It's not one and done. Adjust yourself, set yourself up before you get around other people. And when you get around other people, like Emily, like, I would suggest that that's how you can actually develop relationships and connections with people. If you're on this journey like me, learning about mental health, then you can absolutely have conversations with people to be like, as soon as there's a moment where it feels like there's a segue, or there's a moment where it feels appropriate, you can have those conversations to say, do you know how many thoughts we have every single day that are repeated thoughts? Do you know that there are people that think more with their left brain, that are more analytical driven, and there are people that think with their right brain, and that there's this thing called hemisync that we can do where we can actually synchronize our left and our right brain, and we can start to have different thoughts and different patterns? Do you know that in meditation, you can actually change your appearance? There's this guy named Nicky Scorpio who talks about that. He used to have a lot of gray hairs, and then he started meditating, and those gray hairs went on a vacation. How fascinating. Shaman Durek's in the house. Speaking of Scorpio energy, make sure you're following Shaman Durek. We need more Scorpio energy in our lives. I have 7 planets in Scorpio at the same time. Shamanism is powerful because it shows us what's already inside. We have all the answers. We have them. We have them. You're the leader you're looking for. You're the solution that you're looking for. Codependency and abandonment is, I can't do it, it's too hard. What a lie. What a hustle. Say no to people who devalue you. I want to share this conversation. I want to tell you. I almost gave in to a desperate situation because of somebody's contacts. And I didn't do that because they weren't respecting me. Thank goodness. Know your value and know your worth. Be in solitude. Be by yourself. Be good with yourself. I'm not going to have people around me anymore who 50% like me. Thank you for that. I'm not going to be around people. Thank you, Gavin, for that. Cause like the Scorpio icon says, they're not respecting themselves. That's why I love this man. Because he's the one who's going to tell you when people get around you and you're having that beacon of light and they're saying, you're stupid. Oh, you're dumb. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, look at you. Oh, my God. Like for those of you that are insecure, what you're doing is you're holding your space and holding your light. And they're like, bleh, bleh, thank you, bleh, all over the space. So shield up and know your worth and be secure enough to be okay with other people's opinions. And watch people, as you are that beacon of light, come around you and put you down. The real ones recognize a realness within you. Manifesting is literally, I see it and I believe it. So every single day, I manifest my peace. I manifest my joy. And some of those moments are messy. Yeah. Let me see. I got you. Hold on. I just invited you. Boom, 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 boom. We love the Scorpio energy, yeah. Moving forward in our lives. Moving forward. Loving ourselves more. Being around people with opinions. A second. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
I don't know why it's not showing my face. I don't understand.
There should be like a camera thing somewhere. You might see like a little old school camera icon. If you tap that, it should pop up.
Okay, let's see.
There he is. Hey, all right. I just want to say before, and then hop in. Everybody, this is Shaman Durek. He's somebody who helped me when I was in the abusive relationship. Shamanism is connected with God. In case you're brand new to the conversation, it's showing you what's already inside. And some of my biggest transformations have come from shamanism. With that being said, the Scorpio, the legend.
Well, they also need to understand too that Moses was a shaman from the Midian tribes. A lot of people, like I had this religious guy write me yesterday, and he was just like, "You're an abomination. How can you say the things you do? Shamans should be burned." And I'm like, "So you would burn Moses?" And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Moses." He goes, "Why would I burn Moses?" I said, "But he was a shaman." He goes, "No, he wasn't." I go, "Do you know anything about the Midian tribe? Do you know about Jethro, who was the head of the Midian tribe, and what type of people they are? They are shamans, and they tend to goat, and that's what they do. And they can see the crossover between the spirit world and the physical world. And that's why he was able to see the burning bush." So it's like funny how people don't know that. You know, it was just, anyway, I just giving that little tidbit. But going back to what you were saying about what it means to step forward. You know, someone asked me today in an interview, what does it take to do the things that I do in the world? And my message to everyone who are healers and mystics and teachers and whoever you are that you feel you have to bring something, first of all, remove the idea of a mission and purpose. Because that shit will make you feel like you're not doing enough or you're not good enough, and you'll keep scaling yourself based on a ruler of what you're doing compared to other people. So get rid of that, okay? Because that's a whole product of the matrix. Secondly, realize that if you are here to truly be a healer or a mystic or a teacher or anything that has to do with bringing messages to the world, you have to be okay with realizing that you're not here to make friends. And if you make friends, great, great. They're loyal and you can be real with them. And you don't have to you don't have to hold yourself back because you're afraid that they might not like what you have to say. But when you step into the eyes of the public, you're going to have a lot of people not like you, because people won't like you because they don't like anyone who rattles the keys to their cage. Okay. So let me explain to you what that means. That means the people who will not like you the most will be the ones that you've come to support, because they like their comforts, they like their paradigms, they like their opinions, they like their security, they like things to stay the way they are because they don't see the big picture. So how can you see the big picture? So these people will attack you, call you names, say you're fake, you're a charlatan, you're a phony, you're a fraud, you're a clown, you're like waste of time, this isn't real. What are you doing? You're crazy. You've lost your mind. Could be all kinds of things they say. And really what they're really saying is basically, I'm afraid, I'm scared. You're pushing into a space that I'm not comfortable. You're sharing information with me that my brain is not comfortable hearing. I'm afraid to go beyond the boundaries of my own cage, my own prison. And you're helping me to see that there's light in the tunnel that I've already thought was dark and gloomy. So there's a lot of a resilience you're going to have. You're just going to have it, and you're going to have to build a strong connection with people who are your friends to help you through the amount of negativity you're going to get thrown at every single day, and be okay with that. And be okay with the moments where you feel it and you're like, ugh, why are people so mean? And how can people act this way? And then get your mind off of it and focus on what it is you're doing, what brings you that joy to bring that forth. Because if you don't do that, if you don't develop that resilience, you're not going to be any good to any of us.
It's because wild. I just want to say real quickly, and please keep going. I don't think people know how many levels there are to the self-love journey. Just when you think that you've gotten there, then you get more attention and more attention. And it's like, it can be overwhelming for some people.
Yeah, I mean, to me, look, we have firewalls, okay? And they were built since we were children based on the system that built them, that comes way back from ancient times, when the system realized that enslaving people and whipping them on their backs to get them to build for the system and do things for the system isn't the way. So they found a way to make you beat yourself up and whip yourself on the back, put yourself down, call in all kinds of entities and energies that you don't need that will keep you down. And the self-hatred is real. But the understanding of that is that if you can get to the place to look at where you hate yourself, where you don't like yourself, and start bringing love to those places, where you start realizing, like, even though I'm a shaman, even the Dalai Lama, anyone who's a spiritual embodiment in a physical form, we're still learning how to adapt to releasing these firewalls so that we can go even deeper in loving ourselves. There's a whole road of love waiting for me. And when I say these things to you, I don't have it all figured out. And that's also something too, is always remember to be humble. There's the self-righteousness of, I know everything and I have it all figured out because I'm this and I'm that. It doesn't do nothing for community. It does nothing for self, and it does nothing for the great collective. The idea of us being able to see those places, like when I go and look into myself and I go, okay, where are the places that I hate? And then I go back to like my drug days or my alcoholism or things like that, and see if I fully have loved those spaces in and love that aspect of my being. because those are the places that will leak energy in you. And those are the places that will give other people triggers. So when they say things, you will get triggered because those triggers are showing you where you still have trauma, where you're still holding on to places where you haven't brought love to. So think about that as you're building your resilience. It's an ongoing process. There are days when people write horrible things about me in the press and trash my Wikipedia and do all these different things, and it doesn't faze me. And then there are days where I wake up and for some reason, this one thing that someone says just gets me, and then I have to go in and look and go like, okay, why is that getting me? Why is that upsetting me, what they wrote about me? What is that about? And if I'm getting upset about it, where am I believing in what they're saying? Because we can only get upset and defend for that which we ourselves are trying to defend, because there's a part of us that's unsure. The more we actually begin to cultivate what is called true knowing of ourselves, true knowing, right? That's like true knowing, where you get into a space of realizing that it doesn't, what anyone is saying, it won't matter because you have the true knowing in yourself. So it's so clear and it's so pure that no one can say anything that would make you think opposite of yourself. So when people say things, you're just like, okay. It's just like you look at them more for feeling sorry for them, that they have to spew such vulgarities out of their mouth, versus you getting offended and saying, how could they say this about me? How could they do this to me?
Yes.
Right.
I use my emotional intelligence and how I was able to get myself out of that abandonment. So like when I hit that breaking point of I don't ever want to feel this way again, where I felt very insecure, where I started to realize if I please one person, two people aren't going to like on the other side of it. So it's just going to keep on being in this runaround. That I thought about all the people and that relationship I was in and all the other people who ever criticized me and put me down. And I asked myself the genuine question of, are these people truly, truly, genuinely happy? Like, are they content when the camera's off, when nobody's around, when they're not creating content? And then it was a clear and loud no. And I thought about people who, when I was insecure, when I was in a lower place, that showed me love, that showed me respect, that treated me as an equal, like yourself, like other healers, like other people who are very financially successful, spiritually successful, etc. And then I realized, oh, those people showed me love when I wasn't even really thrilled about myself. And then from there, it was the understanding of the differences where I've changed is that when I have concepts like that, I take that with me for the rest of my life, where I feel like a lot of people skip over that and miss that like what Shaman Durek is talking about is you take these understandings of just, that people are hurting, that people are in pain, this to be true. And so therefore it doesn't make sense to keep on having conversations and exerting energy, because their movie projector is going to keep on telling that same movie, and we're not responsible for these people. And that's where the people pleasing definition of a lot of people right now is disintegrating, and it feels insanity to a certain level.
Yeah, exactly. Everything you said, exactly 100%. And the truth be spoken. Human beings' biggest issue in life is not themselves, it's other people. And when we begin to realize that most of our suffering, most of our pain does not come just from us, it comes from other people. And it comes from other people in the way in which we allow them to integrate or engage with us energetically, right? You have a choice to decide who engages with you energetically or not. Like I don't have friends who scream at me. I don't have relationships who yell at me or put me down. If my relationship person I'm with right now called me a name or whatever, we'd be done. I don't care who she is and what she does. If you call me a name, then we're done, because I don't tolerate any form of abuse. And I've made that decision in my life because I've been in abusive relationships where people called me names and said horrible things to me, threw things at me, yelled at me, smashed up my house, did all kinds of things. And so I learned from that. I realized I don't need a reminder of my childhood and putting myself up all the time. And the audacity, even if a friend or someone was to call me a name, I would have to say, I'm sorry, but this relationship has to come to an end now, because I would never call anyone out of their name. I would never call my fiance, my girlfriend, a name that is not her name and not a name that represents her at the highest level, how amazing she is. I could say to her, I'm very upset with you. I'm disappointed with the way that you're responding. I wish we can find a way right now to communicate in a way that comes back to love. There is no need to defend anything. Let's talk it out. Those are the words that I would use. I would never say, oh, and you're this and you're that and this and you're wrong. And, because this doesn't support her consciousness. It doesn't feed her cells. It doesn't make her feel loved. It doesn't make her feel empowered. It doesn't make her feel heard or seen. And it doesn't make her feel that space is given to her to be her. And I've been in relationships where people have called me names and I'm just in complete shock, wow, you would say such a vulgar thing to me, but say you love me in one breath.
Right. Well, you know what it is too. What I've realized is that a lot of times people have already made up their minds and they're stuck in that space. So like when I ended that last relationship and I started having conversations from a place of curiosity of like, where did your mind go to when you said that thing? When you did that thing to say I wasn't a man because I was taken advantage of, when I've openly shared that from a place of vulnerability. And the logic in the conversations made absolutely no sense as far as you want to solve a problem, you want to come together, you want to unite, you want to be in a loving relationship. And again, this is a concept for all of you that are listening, that you say, okay, cool. People have already made up their minds. Some people are looking for chaos. Some people are looking for drama to, reestablish this old belief that they have, because if they let go of that old belief, they won't know how to define themselves. And so it's taking that understanding of, I'm realizing I'm self sabotaging by being in this relationship because I feel abandoned and codependent. And from me to you, when I left that situation, everything immediately opened up. And I was like, oh, I was also part of the problem. However, this was just a fear based decision. And this person didn't understand certain things, that when I'm around like minded people, it doesn't matter if you have the winning lottery numbers and the meaning of life. If you're a jerk, it's not going to click. If you don't believe in me, it's not going to click. But when I have like minded individuals, it's like, you know what? Nikki is a little bit eccentric. He is a little bit intense, but he's a good kid. He has a good heart. He's a good person. He has good intentions, and I can see that and I can find solutions. And the last part that I'll say, the most challenging part then became, now that I'm in a nurturing relationship with a shaman, with a Reiki master, with a mom, with an amazing person, the most challenging part was actually receiving the love and saying that I deserve this, because I'm used to flinching, or I'm used to eggshells, and I'm used to grenades and landmines.
Yeah, exactly. That was like same for me in my relationship as well. When I shifted out of that abusive relationship years ago and made that decision that I would never have that show up ever again. And it's also what's interesting, and I love what you said, but in the intelligence, what they understand from where they feel they need to protect themselves, and where they feel they need to honor their so-called identity, or the idea of what they've created for themselves, externally and internally. Most human beings operate in those energies because they are unwilling to look at the part of them that is afraid and that is creating that fear. Now, what's also interesting too, when it comes to relationships, in when we're in a relationship, we are actually in a relationship with ourselves. We're not really in a relationship with the other person. the more we're in relationship with ourselves, the more we create a greater integration with that person. Right. And I think that's really important because a lot of times people go into dysfunctional relationships because they don't want to be alone, but that's their own personal issue that they're creating with themselves. The fear of being alone justifies abuse. Or the idea of someone saying, well, I love you, even though I just abused you, is okay because, oh, they love me. Look at, they're bringing me flowers, even though the other day they were cursing you out and calling you names. All of that is a dysfunction because the human brain is looking for the place where they can feel like they're making change in someone. Most of our suffering in life comes because we're judgmental as fuck type people, because human beings are nosy and they think that they have to course correct other people's lives in order to feel comfortable. So most relationships battling each other is because they want to fix the person instead of realizing that even if you do that, you're creating an imbalance because then the person feels like you're using power over them. And so they'll retaliate against you even more. So the key is, and this is how I treat all my relationships, my friends, everybody, I just let people show up and be how they want to be. I have no expectations of them. And if they decide to come to dinner, if I invite them, great. If they don't, then they don't. And it shows me where their priority is. And if they say, I'm going to do this thing for you, and they never call me and do it, then that means that's where they're at. And I just realize who they are. I don't have a judgment of they're bad or good. I just simply say, okay, that's what they're doing with their energy. And I'm aware of that. I'm aware of what they're doing with their energy. So it gives me an ability to make decisions for myself. It's not about me trying to change someone. It's not about me trying to get someone to do something. It's about sharing. And if people are interested in that, great. If they're not, they're not. It's about being open to hearing them, listening to them, but I'm not here to change anyone. And I think the moment you make that decision that you're not here to change anyone, you become less of a judgmental person. You become more accepting and more allowing of situations because you're not putting expectations on them. The biggest sufferer for people are expectations of what you think friends should be, what you think your lover should be like. Oh, my lover is supposed to remember Valentine's Day. Why? And if they don't, does that mean they don't love you? Like all of these rules that we place within intention are actually distortions of truth. And these things limit the true expression of how relationships can form in their most authentic and organic nature.
Oh my goodness. I hope everybody was taking notes. I got the notebook in my bio link. Listen, it's us and it's us and it's us and it's us and it's us. And a mantra, I'm gonna hop off in just a minute. And if you want to drop one more gem, please do. But one thing that really truly changed my life is I told myself, I said, moving forward, I am going to take responsibility for everything in my life if I don't like how it feels. It's me and it's me and it's me. And yo, when you let go of expectations, take this motto, take this mantra with you. Pivot, or you can say detour. You're still going to go onto the freeway. You're still going to go on your path. What Shaman Durek is talking about is understanding we are going to see more than we ever have before that the higher self is making decisions, that control is being released. And for all of us, it really does come down to control. So when you understand, thank goodness that they showed their true colors. Thank goodness that that person showed me how they truly feel. Not I'm a victim, not I'm abandoned, but I got the truth. I love the truth. The truth set me free. And I don't expect for people to show up. When I communicate in this relationship, I don't expect for the clouds to open up and everything the light touches is our kingdom. I spoke my truth like a child speaking my truth. And then I hear their truth. My logic connects with their logic. The love in me connects with the love in me. And if I'm taking it personally, which was another gem that Shaman Durek dropped for me when I was frustrated, is you're either insecure. When you're angry, when you're taking out the anger, you're just insecure. So thank them. Thank the people who are annoying you. Thank the people who are frustrating you. And then that way, when you go to the childhood wound and you can pull up the weeds and reinterpret it and reframe it, That's where you get peace and you realize that life is ever changing. So, with that being said, is there any one more gem that you want to leave people with? Because I know a lot of people are going through difficult things, and you've talked about anxiety and you've talked about different stuff. But is there anything else you want to leave the people with?
My thing right now is that we are in a transitional phase called the transference phase. And this is what we know as shamans. And the transference phase means that in order for the consciousness to go higher, everything that is not held in the field of authenticity for you is being shown to you, to not to hurt you, not to make you depressed, not to make you focus on all the horrible things that's happening on the planet, but to get you to realize where you draw your thoughts and where you decide to invest emotion. And this is giving you an opportunity to self-direct yourself in a way that supports you to direct your energy and also to engage your energy into things that are actually making you feel loved and supported, acknowledged, seen, heard, and valued. And that comes with your integration of self, right? And because most of your personality and most of humans' personality is called projected personality. It's not who they really are, it's who they think they have to be to fit into the acceptance and the acknowledgement of society. Right? It's to belong to something or to someone or to some group or to some idea or concept. So when you let go and you re-examine your firewalls, your fears that you're holding on to because you're afraid that people might say this or say that or think this or think that. Once you get rid of the think this and think that and what people may say, your real self will emerge. Not your projected self that you're projecting to other people so that they will like you. And then you become a member of the I don't give a fuck club. And when you become a member of the I don't give a fuck club, it gives you a sense of liberation and freedom that you've never had before. Because in that moment, you realize that you are free to roam about as you choose and live as you choose, not according to other people's comfort zones, not according to other people's likes or feelings of acceptance and whatnot, because all of that is self-generated by those people, for themselves, has nothing to do with you. It's a construct of lies, but it's based on a false consciousness that you're accepting into based on the system. Once you realize that you are a member of the I don't give a fuck club, you will feel like, wow, I just don't give a fuck anymore. And I'm not here to save this fucking world. And I don't have to go out and beat up on myself for not doing what I think I'm supposed to do as according to what will make everyone else happy. I'm here to shine my light in my authentic self, not my projected self that is created for society's acceptance. I don't give a fuck if society doesn't accept me. I don't give a fuck if my parents don't accept me. I don't give a fuck if my best friend has an issue with what I'm going to say. That's all their stuff. And what it gives me is the freedom to be me.
Peace. Yes. Amazing. I love you. Scorpio energy, ladies and gentlemen. I love you as always. I appreciate you so much. I got a client coming up. I'm going to hop off in a minute. Thank you for popping on and for dropping the gems. Please, please, please make sure you're following Shaman Durek. His everything is amazing. He has a really great podcast. I'm going to be reaching out to you soon because like you heard me on the live stream, I did not sign the contract, thank God. So I'm free in this new way. And so I'm really excited to step into this new space. So thank you for always holding space. Thank you for giving the raw, real Scorpio energy. And also celebrate this man because what he's doing for race relationships in the world, in the royal family, is iconic and legendary. And if you want to follow somebody who's telling you to not care what other people think, like, he's at that level. Okay. So I love you. I appreciate you. I see you. Thank you so much. You're always that ray of light. And I love you. Safe travels. And I'll talk to you soon. Ah, love him. All right. Let me see how much time. I got about 8 more minutes. So love Shaman Durek. Good stuff. Scorpio energy. All right. So I hope you are taking notes. And if you didn't take notes on what he was saying, take notes so that you can get this understanding. It's better. It is better when you understand people have made up their minds about you and you stop trying to drag people into the direction where you're going. It is better when you understand people have made up their minds and you stop needing to explain to people and just show them the love. It is better when you're able to tap into your emotional intelligence and to be curious. And that's another example of emotional intelligence. It's just realizing people have made up their minds and we don't need to over explain, we don't need to oversell, and that we're choosing everything and we're creating everything around us. So with that being said, remember, you have more choices, you have more options, you have more possibilities. There's always something you can do, and you do not need to stay in a relationship no matter what God said, because God didn't say that. That's programming. You do not need to, you're not gonna like burn down below if you get a divorce, if you're being abused. Your kids are not going to be failures if you end the relationship. I'm living proof. My pain is my power. My depression is now my determination. Flip it. Flip it. Most of these are on YouTube. This one is going to be on YouTube. Not all of them are, but yes, this one will definitely be on YouTube. All right. So I appreciate you. I love you. Book time with me. Tap that link in that bio if you want to connect with me, do a one-on-one with me. I'm running a special right now. Anybody who subscribes, who joins the VTP family, that stands for Victorious People, it's $6 to join. You get cool emojis that I've created. And then from there, you go to my profile, my bio link. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tap the link in the bio to get the 15-minute call. That's like a warm up. And then from there, it's $40 an hour instead of $60 an hour. And then we're going to talk about blind spots, perspectives, truths, how to set boundaries, how to have a different perspective on the narcissistic person you've never heard before, how to have consistency, how to build your momentum. I also have a class that's going to be on March 4th. If you want to get the full spectrum of emotional intelligence and worksheets and printouts and time with me for one-on-ones, that starts March 4th. That is going to be 2 classes per month. Very excited about that. Tap that, learn, level up, have other people around you, experience the power of vulnerability. All right. If you have any questions about this live stream, you can always DM me. My business email is up there as well. I would love to connect with you. I work with all different walks of life, all different kinds of people. Other than that, I really can the call be video chat? Yes, it is video chat. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so tap that link in my bio. I also have t-shirts, I have hoodies, I have things with mantras, with mottos. I know you're talking to me. I gotta hop off in just a minute here. It is 5:55 o'clock over here in Pacific time. Of course, it is. Whenever I look at the clock, the angel numbers are always there. Okay, again, we all have access to happiness. We all have access to joy. It doesn't mean that our life is gonna look like Walt Disney. You can have a really challenging life with really challenging lessons and have an inner peace within your challenges and know your intelligence. For me, is not about you wake tomorrow and everything makes sense. It's your momentum. It's honoring who you are and not comparing yourself. And you deserve peace. And you deserve that inner love. All right? So thank you for being here. Thank you for being yourself. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for those of you that take notes. Thank you for all of you who bought that notebook that I've designed. Thank you to Jenny Ann, who's in here too, who is my girlfriend, who's also a shaman, who is a Reiki master, and who's a medium. Also, we have that deal going on. You tap her bio link, and you can get emotional intelligence and shamanism, full spectrum. Okay. Other than that, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the double taps. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the donations. If you want to keep this conversation going, if you want to support me financially, energetically, all that is in my bio link. Cash App, $ Nikki Scorpio, Venmo at Nikki Scorpio. There's a gratuity jar in there as well. It takes debit or credit, and all of that is going to bring these conversations into the mainstream and show people the ancient wisdom and show people the different philosophies, so we can stop falling for these abusive relationships, because planet Earth is in family therapy right now. All right. I love you. Have a great weekend. Make sure you join the Discord. That's when I typically post it. I'm going online. Otherwise, go to my bio and tap that bell in the top right-hand corner. I got to go. Seriously, I got to recharge. I got to get some water and stuff like that, because I got to call in 3 minutes. All right. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the conversations and all the comments. Thank you to all the healers in here. Thank you for everybody who's behind the scenes. The love in me recognizes the love in you. Take care. Signing off in 10. I love you. 9. Love yourself. 8. Unconditionally. 7. Forgive somebody, especially yourself. 6. We're all doing the best we can with the information we have. 5. Understand that that person in your relationship, romantically, non-romantically, platonically, business, whatever, if you don't like them, they're holding up a mirror, they're teaching you a lesson. Find the lesson, crack your code. Number 5, make eye contact with people. When it's off, and that's all there is to it. Number 4, nobody knows what they're doing, everybody's telling you how to do it. Find your intuition, find yourself. Number 3, this year we are focusing on self-love and self-nurturing. Self-love means you honor when your feet move, when your lungs breathe, when your heart beats, when your hair or whatever you have, however you currently have, you are accepting and embracing yourself. You don't need to change yourself. Number 2, anybody who said something mean or hurtful to you was only talking to themselves. Go back to that childhood version of you and reinterpret it. And number 1 is you, because if you weren't here, there would be no you. So without you, you don't exist. So therefore, love yourself more, put yourself first. Even if you're a parent, take 5 seconds before you respond, take 5 seconds before you react, take 3 seconds before you respond to the email. Stop dropping your momentum. And if you want to learn more about momentum, tap that star, book time with me, or book time with me link in the bio. I'm going to give you 3 more seconds because I'm going to hop off. Make that decision. I love you. I appreciate you. Otherwise, send me a message if you. I love it. I love